What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Student Spotlight interview here with another Client Ascension student. Steven, welcome to the show, bro.
What up, Andre? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. We were just talking about this off camera, but funny story. Back in October last year, we did our event down in Tampa, and we were doing a giveaway on Twitter for someone to just win a free ticket to these events. And I'll just kind of paint the picture of how these work behind the scenes. We're always just looking for whoever's the most likely to go to the event and then purchase the full program. So I'm always saying, yeah, it was super random. I picked it like this with one eye open. I knew this Steven guy would be a great fit for Client Ascension, and not just for the program, but just to go down to the event and actually get real value. And so I'm happy we made the right decision, bro. We picked you to come to the event down in Tampa last October. Actually, let's just start there, bro. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like and how that changed things for you going forward.
So that experience was the first time I ever met people from online doing the same business thing as me. Everyone around me in real life aren't really doing this type of thing. So I think that experience was really cool. And I was really excited to go, and I really wanted to go and win that ticket because I had a lot of friends, Ryan and Eamon, for example, who were in CA, and I saw they were crushing it. And I wasn't fully sold in on the idea of joining CA yet, but I got that free ticket. I went to the event. Everyone was insanely chill and cool and welcoming. Like, some of the guys there were like, bro, you're perfect for CA. Like, you fit in with everyone else, right? Because there was a couple of guys there who, like, they had their group, and I kind of just fit in seamlessly. So, like, bro, you got to join CA. And then not even a month after the event, I joined CA. And there was just a lot of value to be given or taken from that event, just meeting everyone, just connecting with a bunch of entrepreneurs doing the same thing as you. And then the keynotes were really cool too. Yeah, I think that was just a great experience, front to back.
The events are always a lot of fun because the in-person experience is so different than what we've had like coming up on Twitter and on social media. And so to experience it in person and to like form those friendships and those bonds. I think you connected with Eamon and his brother while you were down there and some of these other guys. And yeah, it's just cool. Like they're telling you, yo, join Client Ascension. They're students in the program who join Client Ascension, not people from our sales team or people from our team telling you to join. And so it's just cool to see that's the effect the programs had and kind of what happens at these events. But anyways, bro, let's zoom back out. First off, I appreciate you being on here. I know you've been crushing it with the agency and a lot's been happening in your world. So I'm excited to hear all about that. And so just for the audience, if you could let us know a little bit about yourself and kind of what your offer is. What does your agency do? What are you working on?
Yeah, so we're basically a content marketing agency, and our offer right now is 1 million views in 90 days. And basically what we do for businesses, and so we help two types of people. We help B2B and agencies and stuff like that. And we also help influencers and celebrities. Okay, so the main thing we do for B2B is we help everything from A to Z, from ideation to scripting to editing, then distributing the content. All they have to do is record. And then for celebrities and influencers, a lot of the times they already have content because they're, influencers. We kind of just repurpose their content and then distribute that, at a lot of volume. So that's basically what we do.
And is that what you were doing when you were at the event in Tampa, or did the offer change since then?
Yeah, so we had an offer at the event in Tampa, but I've come to realize that it wasn't a good offer because the TAM was really low for who we were trying to hit. And then also the offer just wasn't like a Grand Slam offer. Like, it just wasn't appealing. So,
and how did you determine that? Like, what told you that was the case?
I joined CA and Daniel said this is a shit offer.
That was it. And then it was it.
Yeah, that was basically it. And also, like, I was talking to a lot of the guys there, just connecting with them. Like Eamon, for example, he was giving me a lot of sauce on what helped him grow his agency. And since we're both content agencies, talking to him was really helpful too.
Yeah, and I'd imagine part of the answer as well is it just wasn't selling as much as you wanted it to.
Yeah, at the time we were making around like 2 to 5. It'd just go up and down, and it wasn't really consistent.
2,000 a month, you're saying?
Yeah.
And what happens after you install this new offer, right? Like, what kind of growth do you see? How fast do you see that growth? What kind of happens in between?
Yeah, so the reason we grew, we got 23K in January. That's how much we collected, and I don't think it was much of an offer thing. Like, the offer definitely helped, but the fact that we fixed everything else up in our business, we're doing a lot more volume in terms of cold email, content, manual DMs, and then we got a lot of people in the door from that. With our new offer, And then the reason we were also able to scale is because we were delegating a lot of the work to, we hired some people, and then we stopped working in the business and started working on the business. So it wasn't just an offer thing. It was like a collective of all the things that you need to grow your business,
Yep.
basically. And
Yep.
that's what CA really helped us on with. They didn't just help us make an offer. They helped us all around our business, because you can't grow. Like, if you have a good offer and you don't have good operations, like, it's going to be hard to grow. And then if you have good operations but not a good offer, you need everything to be like a well-oiled machine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You could have a good offer and good operations, but not have any systems in place to market it or to sell it, right? You could
Yeah.
get all the calls booked and close none of them if your sales isn't dialed. So, yeah, that's the great thing about Client Ascension. We're still trying to find the marketing angle for it, to be honest, because there isn't like a specific thing we help you with. It's not like we come in and we fix your operations, or we come in and we fix your sales process. It's like we help you with your offer, and then we help drive leads and traffic to that offer, and then we help you to close and convert that traffic into paid clients, and then we help you to deliver and fulfill those clients so that they stick around longer and want to pay you more money. And so it's an A to Z program, and I know that sounds fishy and corny, but that is like the true definition of what Client Ascension is. And so let's go even further back, bro. Like, I'm interested, like, how'd you hear about Client Ascension in the first place? Like, even before the event.
How I heard about Client Ascension, just from Twitter. I got on Money Twitter through Cardinal Mason, because some backstory, I used to work with Cardinal Mason in like 2018. Before he was Cardinal Mason, we were both making minimum wage, and then I quit after a year. I saw him on my For You page talking about copywriting, how much money he's made. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to do this too. So I hopped on Twitter because Mason said to. I hop on Twitter. I followed everyone he was following, and I think he was following you. He was following Daniel. He was following Christian. And so my whole For You page it turned into, I started seeing a lot of your guys' tweets, especially Daniel's. And just ever since then, I just saw your guys' tweets, and then I started engaging more with you guys. And then, yeah. So just from Twitter, basically. Also, that's around the same time I met Ryan Arab, and his brother just joined CA during that time too. And then I got closer to Ryan, and then I know Eamon was in CA. I remember the time Eamon joined CA at like 2K, and I saw how he grew up to this point. So I think that was a factor in it too, and everything.
Yeah. It's so crazy, dude. I was just talking to Eamon because I didn't really know like when he joined. And he was telling me how he joined Internet Money at first, which is like the lower ticket program we have. Signed his first client. He joined Internet Money at 0, signed his first client. So he's at 2K, put all that into Client Ascension, and then is now at 93K like a year and a half later. 93K a month, which is just wild. Obviously, that's like in edge case, it's like one of the most successful students to ever go through the program, but it's really cool to see that's possible. And like you were telling me at the start of this and off camera as well, as Eamon is one of those guys that you're really modeling your growth after. And so after the event, obviously you get bullied into joining the program finally. So what is that experience like in the beginning? Going through onboarding, going through all the content, going to the coaching calls, like what are some of the first things you've learned that like you immediately implemented and saw an impact in the business with?
Yeah, so I'll just talk in general about my experience when we first joined. At the beginning, it was kind of overwhelming because there's just so much things going on. All of these coaching calls, the Kajabi, the lessons in Kajabi, all of these channels in Slack and stuff. It was overwhelming, but it was also kind of fun just because you're being introduced to this new system, to all of these new people doing the same thing as you. So that was really fun. And I think one of the first things I implemented from CA was one of your videos. And I think you were talking about auditing your time, right? You said do a 72-hour audit using like some website, Clockify, or writing it on a piece of paper. For the 72 hours, just log everything you're doing. And then at the end of the 72 hours, just check what's something you don't want to do or what's taking your energy away, and then delegate that if possible. And then that's something I implemented right away. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, bro. So it's funny because like the 72-hour task audit is one of the things that I'll never stop talking about. And I was just telling Eamon this. So if you guys watched the Eamon interview, like you're hearing it again, and that's the entire point. You need to be reminded more than you need to be taught. And so I'll keep saying it, but the 72-hour task audit. So I invested in Taylor Welch's mastermind. We paid $45,000 to join his mastermind. And just like anytime you join a new program, you're like, what's the secret? What is this guy doing that I'm not doing that's making him so successful? And I go to his event. In half the event, he's talking about doing a time audit. and how to do a time audit and why you should do a time audit and what to do after you've done the time audit. And I'm like, this is so fascinating because I know it works and it's like staring me right in the face. I just chose to ignore it and look for something else, something more shiny or something more cool or something easier, probably is really the answer. So the time audit's so important and it's something I always revisit. But I guess question for you, and so the audience can gain some perspective into this. What did the time audit for you look like, and where did you, I guess, go from there? What actions did you take based on what you learned from doing the time audit?
So the easy thing is I was taking a lot of my own time to edit videos and make content for my clients. So I delegated that and I trained someone up to do that. Another thing too is for our agency, we distribute a lot of the content. So I was posting, let's say I had 5 clients, I had to post for 5 clients on all the social media platforms a day. I noticed that that was taking a lot of my time and I didn't like doing it. So I hired my little brother to do that for me. And that just freed up so much of my time.
It's little things like that. You're probably doing it and just like whatever, it's not that big of a deal. It's like this little thing. It takes me 30 minutes to an hour every single day. It's annoying, but it's whatever. I'll just continue doing it until you have the slap in the face with a time audit to be like, wow, I'm spending 5 hours a week on this thing. I could be spending 5 hours sending DM, doing cold email, getting on sales calls, actually growing the business. And so, yeah, you said you hired your little brother to do that for you now?
Yeah, to post videos for my clients. Because you don't really notice it until you see it visually on like paper or on the screen, like, holy shit, this is taking so much of my time. Because in the moment when you're doing it, it takes 5 seconds this time, 5 seconds another time, and then it just adds up and adds up. And then when you actually audit everything and put it all together, like you can see it's actually taking a lot of your time and taking a lot of your energy, more importantly.
Exactly. When you do a time audit, it's always a reflection of, how much time am I spending on this? But after you spend an hour doing something, how do you feel? Do you have the energy to continue through the rest of your tasks for the day? Or do you need to go lay down after, right?
Exactly.
And so that's another thing to really take inventory on is it's not just a time thing, but it's also how do you feel the rest of the day or immediately after doing that specific task? And I'm sure after posting across all these different channels, it's such monotonous work for you. You probably felt drained and annoyed and frustrated, and you went to go do something more entertaining after, maybe scroll TikTok or go on a walk or just not do anything productive.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, bro. Yeah, when I first did the time audit, the big thing I found was I'm spending hours every single week doing inbox management, which was like, there was no reason for me to do inbox management for all of our clients. And that was for our cold email campaign. So we hired an inbox manager, saved a bunch of time, and then used that time for other things. So I guess a follow-up question for you is, now that you save time through doing a time audit and figuring out where you need to delegate certain tasks, what did you do with that time that you freed up? What does your day-to-day look like now?
Yeah, so I'm still doing a lot of client communications and I'm still looking over the work that my editors produce for the videos they made. I still look over that. And a lot of the time that I saved up now, what I'm doing with it is I'm working on the business. So I'm making content for myself to get inbound leads. I'm sending a lot of DMs. I'm looking over my cold email campaigns to see how they're doing, to see how I can adjust it. So all of that time basically is figuring out how I can increase the revenue of my business and also just improve my business overall. Through getting new clients, improving our systems, improving our product. And yeah, that's essentially working on your business and not in your business. And just, I don't want to be an employee. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a business owner.
Absolutely, bro. So you're right in the middle of this growth. You said in January, you guys did 23 grand. What does the growth trajectory look for you guys now? Like, what are you focused on? What are you measuring in the business to get to whatever that next revenue goal is for you guys?
Yeah. So right now our priority is just send a buttload more DMs, right? Because I think we haven't really cracked the code with that yet. I think most of our clients are coming from referrals and also the cold email campaigns. So there's 3 things we want to focus on. And, you might say this is obvious, but, we like to think of it like this. But 1, we want to focus on improving our product so that we can get more referrals and we have happier clients and they stay longer, right? To keep our revenue the same or even grow it with upsells. 2, we want to hone down on our cold email campaigns so that they improve, they get more leads through the door, and then we can close more people. And then 3, just sending a bunch more cold DMs and just trying to find the right messaging to the right audience so that we can get more leads and make more money.
That's awesome,
I hope
bro.
that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you work with a business partner as well, right?
Yeah, that's Omar, my boy, Omar the creator. It's funny because I actually met him online too, and now we're
Wow.
business partners. And I'm gonna get him to come out to the Tampa event in October, so you're gonna meet him
Love that,
in
dude. Love
person.
that. And you were at the event in Tampa this previous year, obviously. And so, a big theme of that event was the power of business partnerships, right? All the businesses, at least that I've built and am building, revolve around partnerships, right? I'm not a solo founder in any of the businesses I'm a part of. And so I strongly believe in partnering up with the right people is
Mhm.
what's going to take you a lot further in business. And so how does that look like with your business partner, Omar? Like, how are your guys' responsibilities split?
Yeah, so I know there's kind of two categories you can put us in. There's a operator, and then there's the visionary. I would say I'm more of an operator, and then Omar's more of the visionary. But in terms of how we're actually split, that's pretty much how I do most of the systems and the operations, and he's more of marketing and stuff. But we both do pretty much a lot in our business. Like we have our hands in everything, but that's how I would categorize both of us.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, that's awesome. And did you
Hmm.
guys meet before the event or after the event? Like when did the partnership form? And I guess how did you guys find your stride in like delegating responsibilities to each other? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I didn't meet him at the event. I met him online way before the event. I met him through, he saw one of my TikTok videos and then he reached out to me on Twitter and we just started talking and then we decided let's just start an agency together. There's a lot more that goes into that, but that's basically how it went. I'm not sure how it is for other agencies, but for our agency, we have, let's say I get a client in the door and I'm the main guy that client is talking to. I'm going to do most of the things for that client. And then if he gets a client in the door, he's going to do more things for that client. And then we kind of just oversee our editors doing the work for our separate clients, but we still check in with each other and provide input, provide feedback. And I'm not sure if that's the right way. That's working for us right now. And I'm sure that's going to change as we scale more and get more clients, but that's pretty much how it is.
It's really simple. It's like you guys, it's communication, right? How often do you guys meet every week? Or how often are
Oh,
you
we
guys
talk every day.
Yeah. The way we've ran our partnerships and our businesses is we meet at the start of the week, discuss our goals, each individual goal for the week. And then throughout the week, we're just discussing as things happen and as we're making progress on whatever it is we said we were going to work on. And things are always changing. But yeah, it's the communication thing that is what really keeps these
Yeah.
partnerships alive.
Yeah, 100%. We talk every day. We update each other pretty much every single day. We hop on Discord. We're not just business partners, we're also friends. So we shoot the shit a lot. We have a lot of the same interests and stuff. So I think that helps. Obviously, we keep things professional. If something needs to get done, I'll tell him, do this. And he'll tell me, do that. And if he's doing something wrong, I'll be like, yo, like straighten up. Like we're still professional, but we're also friends. So I think that helps with, communication and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say that too. It's like obviously you got to be careful, like not to be too close with this person to the point where you can't give them honest feedback and you can't have those difficult conversations. But you want to be business partners with your boys. I think. I mean, all of my business partners are like my best friends and my cousin that I grew up with, and so it makes it a lot more
100%. Yeah.
enjoyable. You just have to
Yeah.
ask yourself before getting into that, like, hey, it will get very difficult, and there will be times of conflict and high stakes and difficult conversations, and you have to be ready for that. And so, like, ask yourself, is this person that you're thinking about getting into business with someone that you can have those difficult conversations with? Because sometimes there are going to be people where, like, dude, I can't really do that with this person. And so don't get into it if that's the case. But also, if
Agreed.
it is a
Yeah.
case where they are a friend and you can keep it professional and keep business and friendship separate, it's such a wonderful opportunity to take advantage of.
For
My
sure.
next question for you, bro, is like since joining Client Ascension, what are some of the biggest things you guys change or now do differently in the agency that's allowed for this continued growth?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is just delegating our fulfillment and work. So we're not, because that before we joined Client Ascension, a lot of the times we would be in this limbo, and I know a lot of agency owners can relate. Is we would be in this limbo where okay, we're fulfilling 99% now or 100% now. We're gonna kind of put a pause on lead gen, and then if, I know you're not supposed to ever turn your lead gen off, but that's what we would do. Like we're just gonna fulfill right now, and then when our clients leave, then we can turn lead gen back on. That's not the way to go because you're not growing your business if you just mainly focus on one thing. You have to focus on both. It's a balance. And before CA, we'd be in that constant limbo of like, okay, fulfillment now, lead gen later, lead gen now, fulfillment later. And it wasn't a great agency. And the biggest reason for that is because we didn't have any help. It was just us two. And we're not open to delegating and stuff like that. We wanted to keep our profits, I guess, and some other reasons too. But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest. Yeah.
It's just whack-a-mole, right? Like you're just going back and forth. And I talk about this in one of the modules in Client Ascension about sales velocity. And it's like you need to constantly be selling, but you also need to be constantly fulfilling. You have to be doing both. It's not one or the other, which is what a lot of business owners struggle with. In the beginning, all they care about is lead gen. And then it becomes, oh, now I need to focus on fulfillment because people aren't happy and I'm not able to deliver and I'm not hitting the guarantee. But when they shift focus over there, then they stop lead gen. And then they need to go back to lead gen because now they don't have any clients left. And so if you're going back and forth, it's a very difficult game to play and it's a tough thing to balance and it's not going to be able to grow very far. So you need to have systems and processes in place for both things. And that's the only way you're going to break out and grow. I guess for you guys, delegating is one thing, but what is it like with actually managing these people you're delegating work to? How's that been going? Like, what does that process look like? You're assigning projects, obviously. How are you doing quality checks? How often are you meeting with these people? What does the culture look like within your team, and how is that contributed towards your guys' growth?
So the culture with our team and our editors is we're all around the same age. So that's what makes it easy for us to talk to each other. We all have similar interests. We have a UFC client. One of our editors, his main project is on the UFC, just because he has extensive knowledge of that. But we're pretty much just all in this Discord because we host a lot of our operations on Discord and our communications on Discord with my team. We have weekly meetings at least once a week. And yeah, we're all around the same age, so it's really chill to talk to each other.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, that's like the culture, right? Is you guys are like the same age. You guys probably are interested in a lot of the same things. And it's cool with you guys because you work with a lot of these celebrity clients. And so it's cool to see how much reach the work that you guys are doing has. And I'm sure that's a big selling point to get people interested to be a part of your team and to work with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
So I guess that's another question I have for you, bro, is like, how have you guys been able to attract and build trust with some of these bigger names? How have you guys managed to sign whale clients as like a newer agency?
Yeah, so it all depends on your case studies and your track record, right? I know a big thing that is true in the agency space is all you need is one good client and then everyone else starts rolling in. So in our case, to sign big clients, we needed to have one big client in the first place. And our first big client was Hasbulla, right? And the fact that we worked for Hasbulla just made every other celebrity client trust us more. And it got us our foot in the door. And if we get our foot in the door and we just do good work, then we just get more whale clients because they stick with us. If you get one whale client, you'll just attract more whale clients, right? And now you might be asking, how do you even attract Hasbulla in the first place? Now, this isn't my story to tell. This is my business partner's story to tell because he was the one who started working with Hasbulla first. And basically what he did, he started a free Twitter account around Hasbulla. He made a meme page for Hasbulla, built that meme page to like 1 million, 1.5 million followers. The team saw it. They were like, yo, I love what you're doing. You're spreading Hasbulla's name in a good light. And they just like worked together. And then I fit in the mix too. But how we started working for Hasbulla and how I started working for Hasbulla is we did free work. So just free work, basically. If you want to sign anyone, free work. And also just shoot your shot, you know? It might be a 1 in a million chance that you message LeBron James and he actually needs your service, but shoot your shot. It takes 5 seconds to send a DM to someone who has 1 million followers on Instagram, and chances are they see it because I know a lot of the people who have a following, they look through a lot of their messages. And I'm sure that if you send messages to a celebrity or an influencer, they probably saw it, but the reason they didn't respond is just because, one, it wasn't a good DM, or two, they just didn't need your service. So if you just keep shooting your shot, eventually it's going to be a good DM to somebody, and then two, they're going to need your service at that moment. So it also just takes timing as well as volume.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly, bro. It's so interesting because think about the amount of people that even think to pitch their services to someone like Hasbulla or to LeBron James. Like the amount of people that have the thought probably disqualify immediately saying, oh, like they'd never work with me or I have no chance of signing this person. And so the competition is actually less than like the average business that everyone else is going after. And then it's mixing in free value as well, like proving that your services and your work is good enough for this person. I think like putting those two things together, like being willing to do the free work and then also being willing to ask to have them pay for your work. Not very many people are willing to do both those things, and not many people are talented enough to do a good job at the first part that gets them interested enough in the paid services. So
Yeah.
props to you guys for executing that strategy beautifully. And then, like you said, once you have one, you leverage that to get the rest, and it just gets easier and easier, right? I always say,
Yeah.
like, even signing your first client is the hardest. Like, signing the next 9 clients is a lot easier than signing that first one combined,
Yeah. For
just
sure.
because it's like knocking down that first domino.
Yeah, I agree. And then I just want to drop a little nugget for the CA community. And just for anyone watching this, if you want to work with like celebrities, or if you have a dream client and they have like a big following and they're hard to reach per se, sometimes like the best way isn't to message them directly on Instagram because they have a million followers. And I know I said they look at a lot of their DMs, but some of them just don't look at all. But the best way to reach out to these people is to reach out to their team instead. So let's say you want to work for Alex Hormozi. Instead of reaching out to Alex Hormozi himself, find out who is under Alex Hormozi, one of his content managers, one of their executives, something like that. Chances are they don't have a million followers like Hormozi. If you reach out to them and offer them free work, that's how you get in the door with Hormozi. You can still get on Hormozi's team without messaging Hormozi himself. And this is true for every other celebrity and influencer out there.
That's crazy. Yeah, you just go through their team because they're the ones that are literally hired to handle these types of requests and to look for these types of talent that can help them with these
Exactly.
different services. That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions to ask, one of my last questions here, bro. And you've been crushing it. I appreciate all again. It's been like super tactical, like really learning more about what you've been up to, all the things you've been implementing, what works, what doesn't. And it's just been super in the weeds, like not your traditional case study where we're just talking about revenue levels and wins and successes. So I'm sure the audience is loving this right now and learning a lot. So again, thanks for dropping all this value. But one last one before we wrap up here is there's a lot of students that go through coaching programs like Client Ascension, and even students that go through Client Ascension that don't have the level of success that you're having. And so what would you say to someone that goes through the program that has worked for you that would just help them make the most of it, whether it's go to more coaching calls, watch more content in Kajabi, connect with more students? Like, what are some things that you've done to get the most value out of the program?
Just being consistent and just being there. Like, you see my name every single day, whether it's on a coaching call or on Slack. You're going to see my name every single day, at least like more than once a day. You'll see me say good morning. You'll see me respond to people's questions. You'll see me ask questions in Slack. And you'll also see me on the coaching calls doing both of those things, asking questions and then maybe providing some input if I have it. But just being consistent and just participate a lot in any community, not even just CA. If you join a community, you spend money to meet people, like participate. But you don't want to be just like standing in the corner just watching. And the thing is, like, participating and just showing your name and being around actively in the community. If they see you on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, they're going to be more likely to engage with you because they see you in Slack. They see you in the coaching calls. And who knows, if they needed your service one day, they see you all the time. Even if you're not pitching to them, like, they might hit you up. And I think just being active in any community that you join is the best way to get the most out of it.
Absolutely, bro. Just show your face as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as possible. I even brought this up on the podcast I did with Matt Lucero. He was a great case study for this. He showed up in the community every day, whether it be on coaching calls or in the Slack channels. And to the point where we literally went to the event in London, and the people at the event knew him as much as they knew myself and Daniel and some of the actual founders and coaches in the program. And this was a student. And so he was just as recognizable and known in the community as the actual founders of the business. And so Matt obviously knew what he was doing by showing up consistently and connecting with as many students as possible. And so I love that strategy. And that's what I did when I joined Daniel's community way back in the day, to the point where he was like, who is this guy? We connected on a call and ended up partnering together on what is now Client Ascension. And you don't have to be special to implement the strategy. You literally just show up in the community in Slack with a GM message, right? It can be as simple as that, or just show up to the coaching call, ask an intelligent question, quick and easy. So yeah, show up consistently, use what you've actually paid for. It's so simple, but it's funny how few people actually execute on these things. So anyways, bro, You're crushing it. I see your growth trajectory being very similar to Amon's, and so I'm sure we'll have you back on here again for another one of these once you hit another milestone in the business. But before that, I'd love to hear just where the audience can find you and follow you online so that they can also follow along with the growth journey rather than having to wait for another one of these to drop with us.
For sure. You can check me out on pretty much every social media at Steven Batterina. I'm more active on Twitter and then YouTube and then Instagram sometimes, but you can find me every platform. But if you want to reach out to me on Twitter. That's where I'm most active.
Hell yeah, bro. Dude, thank you again for all the value, all the updates on things you're working on, where you're at, what's working, what's not, and all the advice to the existing students and agency owners out there. So keep crushing it, and I look forward to having you back on here.
For sure, bro. Appreciate you. Peace.